This is a story about Kim. She was a normal girl. She liked to play with Barbies, twirl like a ballerina until she was dizzy. She loved pink and rainbows, and most of all, she loved playing dress-up. Kim didn't like to go to school. She was heavier than most girls, and she didn't like the way other girls teased her. For show and tell, Kim dressed up in a blue princess ball gown. It was her favorite. It was tight on her and hugged her thick stomach. She kept telling her mother she needed a new one, but until then, Kim squeezed inside her favorite dress. The girls in Kim's class cornered her in a bathroom during recess. They took turns picking at her stomach, at her skin, and her hair. They called her names like Fatty and Muffin Top. They picked at her dress and tore it. Kim never came to class after recess. A teacher found her on the floor of the bathroom. When Kim was 13, she stopped eating to lose the weight that she believed separated her from her being friends with the other girls. When Kim was 15, she tried weight loss drugs she bought from another student. When she was 16, Kim began drawing her ideal body type. She picked at her arms and her thighs. She wished they were smaller. When Kim was 17, she began selling her Barbie doll collection that once belonged to her grandmother. She was saving up for her first surgery. At 18, Kim had liposuction. At 19, she spent her college fund on removing 2 of her rib cages to make her waist thinner. She increased her bust size by paying for implants, and she removed excess skin. She paid for Botox to fix her face, but it wasn't enough. She began taking out loans to try and pay for more and more procedures. She drew on her body all the things she wanted to fix. She had more black marks than peach skin. She believed her fingers were too long, her bones too large. She wanted to be smaller, thinner, and perfect. When Kim was 25, she was at the edge of bankruptcy. She went to her parents for help, but they refused. They tried to tell her she didn't need surgery, that she was beautiful, but Kim wouldn't listen. She cut fat from her own thighs. She almost died from blood loss. After surgery to repair the damage Kim caused, her parents took her to a psychiatric hospital. They told her if she got help, they would pay her debt. On the first day there, her doctor explained to her that she had body dysmorphic disorder, or BDD. He said she looked normal, but was preoccupied with an imagined defect in her appearance. She only heard the word normal and cringed. She wanted to look perfect, not normal. Without makeup to make her eyes appear larger, Kim didn't feel comfortable leaving her room, but the nurses made her anyway. She didn't mind the art hour, but hated the food and group therapy. There were men and women in her group, all suffering from body dysmorphic disorder. One man was addicted to steroids because he didn't think his muscles were large enough. His bicep was larger than his head. Another woman had stapled her own face back in an attempt to tighten her skin. The therapist told her her cognitive behavioral therapy would be necessary for her to recover. Kim didn't believe she had anything to recover from, but she took her drugs and talked in therapy. They put her on a drug called clomipramine. A nurse told her it would block the reuptake of serotonin, which would help her from obsessive. In group, the therapist liked to throw statistics in the air. He thought it would make them feel more normal. He says men and women both get BDD. He tells them many people suffer from it. He tells them social anxiety, eating disorders, and suicidal thoughts are common problems among BDD patients. He told them plastic surgery wouldn't help. He asked them to share what they thought was wrong with them. Everyone had something or everything. Some people didn't want to share. Kim shared, and they called her beautiful because they understood. A week later, she asked a doctor, "Why me? Why this disorder?" He told her he didn't know. There aren't genetic reasons that have been observed to cause BDD. He told her there were some theories, most focused on the unconscious mechanism of displacement, that something in her life was so anxiety-provoking that she may have displaced her feelings onto her body rather than the thing. Another theory believed BDD was caused by a traumatic event in childhood. One theory focused on a problem with the neurotransmitters in the brain. Nothing has been inconclusive. He asked her about her childhood. He was searching for why as much as she was. A new patient came in. She had cancer. The doctors didn't think she'd make it 2 years. She was dark, but unnaturally so. Her skin sagged everywhere, and she wore a scarf on her bald head. Her name was Anne. Anne wanted her skin as dark as the night. Her family brought her in, because despite the chemo, she still sat under her tanning booth for hours each day. Kim became friends with Anne, and the therapist saw that as a good sign of her improvement. As Kim's stay at the hospital came to an end, her outlook on life had improved, but her struggle with BDD was not over, and she knew it. The condition is chronic, but Kim's urges to get plastic surgery had subsided.